Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ashley. If you're new on this channel, then welcome to the team. And if you're returning back, I'm very happy to have you here. So for today's episode, we are talking about relationship, we're talking about marriage. So for today's topic, we're talking about how to protect your inner peace within your marriage. Many people tend to believe that once you become married, it's just peace everywhere. It's happiness everywhere. It's pink roses. There's no disagreement. There's harmony everywhere. And while this is the ideal marriage, the reality is that marriage is not always flawless like that. Marriage comes with its up and down. Marriage comes with its moment of happiness, its moment of sadness, and also moment where you are very happy and thankful to know that you have a husband, to know that you also have like a family to celebrate, to be with you. So once again, marriage is just a mix of many emotions. At the end of the day, all we have to understand from this video is that just like any season where we have the winter and the summer, moment where you feel sad within your marriage, when you feel like your peace is stolen from you, these are moments that just like any season shall pass away. So here I come now with a couple tips for you to protect your inner peace within your marriage. So my tip number one to protect your inner peace within your marriage is that you have to actively seek and pursue peace. I know that it may sound cliche, but that is the truth. So we're going to go with the Bible, especially in the Psalm of David, chapter 34, starting from the verse 14. So the book of David on the chapter 34, starting with verse 14 states, "Depart from evil and do good. Seek and pursue peace." So we can already see in the Bible that the Bible did not say, "Depart from evil, do good, and happiness shall come to you." No, it does mention seek and pursue peace, which means that peace has to be something that's hidden. It's not something that easily found. That you wake up in your marriage and then it's always peaceful. No, peace has to be found, and you have to understand also that whenever true soul, true Christian soul, put themselves together and commit to the sacrament of marriage, you have to be sure that the devil outside is not happy. So he's doing everything that he can to disrupt family. Because whenever there's union between two Christians, there's also multiplication, which means that, there's much more Christian coming to earth. There's also the news of the good news of the Lord that's going to also be announced everywhere. And Satan doesn't want that. He doesn't want for the word of God to be announced everywhere. So once again, like I said, whenever there's marriage, there's always time when there's discord, time where there's misunderstanding, because that is the goal of the devil is waiting for those moments within your marriage when there's a little discord, where it can create a moment of unhappiness, a moment of discord, so it can act and disrupt family. And that's why, as the Bible says, we have to continuously seek, we have to continuously and actively pursue peace. How do you do that? Well, there's many ways to do that. Whether you choose to read the Bible, you can read the Bible and look for the promise of God about marriage. Look for the promise of God about the peace that He brings into marriage. You can also use inspirational quotes, or you can also use a vision board. I know for me, I'm a vision person, so for that reason, I do have in my room, areas where I will write inspirational quotes, such as, today is gonna be a great day. I declare today that, no matter what happens, my heart shall remain peaceful. I declare today that, I will hold no grudges. I declare today that I'll be much more tolerant with my loved one, with my husband, with my kids. Today I declare that the Lord fight my battles, and so my heart shall remain in peace. So you see, all those inspirational quotes, are things that you put into your heart. Every day when you wake up, you read those quotes, you read and you read. At first, if you choose to go with those inspirational quotes, at first it may sound a little bit foolish for you. I mean, because you start realizing that you are reading things that, in reality, you don't believe that can happen. Because you tell your heart, no matter what happened, my heart remain at peace. But are you sure that if somebody, right now come and then for no reason, just pour cold water on you in this cold winter, in this cold weather, would you be happy? The reality is that it's very hard to be happy. It's very hard to remain peaceful in those situations. However, you use the eyes of the faith and you declare that in your life. And like I say, it's not something that you do that once. You have to make sure that maybe every day, or as needed, maybe twice a day, 3 times a day, or maybe every time that your spouse does something that make you really angry or irritate you, you just go to that area and you read those inspirational quotes. Like I said, you can also use a vision board. A vision board is like, for this month of October or for this month of November, I declare peace in my life. So you have a board with peace. You have a board that shows maybe water, that shows the birds, that shows things that inspire you to feel peaceful. And so, as you do that every day, you'll be surprised that your subconscious will start now to integrate this type of behavior into your life. And you'll be sure that I say that in the morning when your husband or when your spouse start complaining about maybe a misplaced object of the breakfast being too cold when you prepare that to be ahead of time, and because it took too long, it became cold, that you won't be as irritated as usual. Why? Because you have programmed your brain to not react, to remain peaceful no matter what. Also, you have to understand that as you are seeking and desiring peace actively, you have to behave in a way that show peace. So you have to be more pleasant with your partner, with your spouse. You have to intentionally wake up every day, with the idea, with the goal of finding peace within yourself, of protecting your peace, and also spreading peace around you. Again, the Bible says in the book of Proverbs, chapter 16, verse 24, that kind words are like honey, sweet to the soul and healthy for the body. So we can see that even the Bible is encouraging us to speak, to speak with kindness, to speak with elegance. So once again, tip number one to protect your inner peace is that you have to actively seek peace. Because trust me, as much as right now I'm talking about, finding peace within yourself, I'm working hard to encourage you outside to find peace within yourself and to protect it. You have to be sure that the devil right now is working also 2 times, 3 times hard to find ways to disrupt family, to find ways to disrupt the sacrament of marriage, to find ways to destroy the peace within you, so that your union between you and your husband, between you and your family, may be destroyed for the glory of who? Of the devil. And no, we're not going to let that happen. So we have to, as Christians, constantly and actively seek that peace. My tip number 2 for you to protect your inner peace within your marriage is that you must change the way you understand and you perceive situation. I mean, the reality is that, how often in our marriage, have we not react based on misunderstanding? I thought that maybe my husband was trying to tell me this, but in reality, he was not trying to tell me that. There's a lot of assumption sometimes in marriage, There's a lot of miscommunication. And many times, like I said, those miscommunication create what? They create discord. They create time of unpeacefulness. They create time when, you feel almost like, unhappy within your own marriage. I know that this may sound easy, but the reality is that it's not easy. You have to train your brain to change how you perceive things and how you understand things. You have to change your brain when your husband may tell you, I don't like when you put this over here. And you think that is attacking you. But in reality, it's trying to make you, let's say, put a positive remark. So how do you engrave in your brain that my husband is not trying to attack me, but really he's just trying to make me better? But it's because it's through a renewing of your mentality. So you may start thinking that, Lord, I thank you because you choose somebody that's close to me, that knows me so much to tell me about my imperfection. And it takes maturity. It takes a growth. It takes discernment to think that way, because it's not easy. It's not easy to have that change in mentality or that change in perception. We live in a world nowadays where, to be honest, let's be honest, people get irritated very easily. People take things very personal. I mean, it could be based on also on our experience, on our past. You come in a relationship, you don't necessarily know what the person went through, and at least depending on, how far you're in a relationship. Because I believe that, as the more and more you go in a relationship, you should share. I mean, there's things that your husband should know about you, there's things that your wife should know about you, to the point that they know that it's a trigger for you and not to do. Always on the same path with changing your perception. I believe that changing your perception also requires you to also really know who you are. So it requires you to really dig deep into you and know your strength and know your weakness. Know who you are in the Lord. Know what the Bible says about you. Because let's be honest, sometimes as we are in a relationship, whether it's a marital relationship, it's a friendship, it's a relationship with your friend, very often when we get upset, people tend to look at your weakness and speak loud, speak volume on those weaknesses. And if you yourself don't accept your own weakness, if you don't accept or you don't really know who you are, eventually as any human being, you feel offended. Nobody likes to be told the truth about themselves. If I have a big nose and somebody tell me that I have a big nose, I'm conscious that I have a big nose. So them telling me that I have a big nose make me much more offended and actually, make me want to cry or whatever situation reaction that you have. However, when I started looking at my nose as what? As a gift from God. As He gave me that big nose because He knew that, my lungs need that nose to have all the air that it needs, to make me as healthy as I am. So it's almost like you transform your weakness. You transform your default into a positive way. So that, like I said, so that when somebody attack you, whether it's your husband, whether it's I know attack from a husband can be too strong. But when let's say this spirit come through your husband and try to make you feel uncomfortable, try to irritate you within your marriage, that you don't let your peace be troubled. No, because your mind already, your mind and your brain already figure out a mechanism to de-escalate things, to make you feel less trouble. Once again, I'll tell my own story. I know myself, for example, growing up, I used to hear very often, oh, Ashley and the big head. People even talk sometimes in Spanish, like cabeza. And then, I come from Ivory Coast. Or for Africa, let's say Africa, Ivory Coast. I don't know how it is in America here. But yes, people will laugh at me. There's nothing wrong with having a big head. Some people have a small head, some people have a medium head, some people have a big head. And so what? It's a gift from God. By that time, I was aware of my head. I was aware of what I had, but I did not accept it into my heart. And it was very hard for me because I would hear people laugh at me. I would hear people mock, not just laugh, but mock me. And it was very hard for me. But when I learned to appreciate that, you don't just have a big head. You have a full head that is filled with the smartness and the intelligence of God. It made me feel different. It made me react differently to opinion. So when, let's say, somebody outside, even my husband be telling me, oh, look at your big head, which he doesn't do, let's be honest over here. He does not even look at my head, which, But people also tell me, oh, look at your big head, it's keep on growing. I will laugh at it. Like, it doesn't even enter my core to say, touch my peace. Because I already trained my brain to know that, that big head is there for a purpose. So similarly, I want you out over there to learn about yourself, to learn who you are. First, learn who you are first, physically, and then learn also who you are in Christ. What does the Bible say about you? You are the daughter of the Most High. You are the daughter of that man who own gold and silver. So my second tip, like I said, you have to change the way you perceive things. You have to change the way you understand situation. And how is that possible? It's possible through, knowing your weakness, knowing your strength, knowing your identity in Christ, knowing who you are in Christ. Also, it's possible through how? Through changing the way you think about a situation. So through thinking that if my husband tells me something at a time, that I take it wrong, maybe I should look at maybe a positive way. Maybe and be thankful that the Lord used your husband to show you imperfection. I know that those two things I say may sound contradictory, but there are two valid points depending on the relationship where you are. Because you can be in a relationship where you have a husband that supports you, you have a single that supports you, that wants your good. And so that man wants your good every time, but you always see the negative in him. So this is a good opportunity for you to see the positive side by using God, using your husband, to show your potential, to reveal your imperfection so you can get better. And it can be in a situation where maybe your husband, unfortunately, or your significant other tend to make you feel down, tend to always reveal your weakness, tend to always whether against purposefully or purposely put you down. Then at that time when it happened, you must know who you are in God. You must know what is your strength. You must know what are your weaknesses so that you can not necessarily fight against your husband. No. But you unite yourself with your husband and fight against the spirit that's behind that's trying to cause discord within your family. Okay, so let's go now for the tip number 3. My tip number 3 to protect your inner peace within your marriage is yes, and yes, absolutely be forgiving. Let me tell you. Right now, people who want to get married outside, you know how the devil used them. There's many ways, but he used the spirit of anger. If you have a big heart, if you are too proud, if you're too angry, you cannot control your emotions, sometimes it's going to be hard for you to enter marriage. If you're somebody also who hold grudges so much to the point where, it's above your head, it's going to be hard for you to be happy in marriage. Because like I say, marriage comes with its up and down. There are seasons where the devil, like I say, will try your marriage. There are seasons where the devil will challenge you with with big hardship within your marriage. And if you're not a forgiving wife, it's going to be hard for you. Because you wake up trying to seek peace. But your heart is not at peace. You cannot forgive whatever happened within your marriage. It's like something happened the night before. And then you didn't forgive it. The next day you try to move on, but you can't. A heart that is not at peace cannot be successful. A heart that is not at peace cannot go to its highest potential. So once again, my tip number 4 to protect your inner peace is that you have to learn and you have to ask God to help you to be forgiving. There's beauty, there's peace in forgiveness. And I'm one of those people that I believe that, I don't necessarily hold grudge, but I'm one of the people that believe that every second that pass, if somebody wants really to grow, every second that pass, you become more mature, you get wiser, you get much, a new learning in your life. So I try not to use the situation of the past and generalize them. No, I'm not gonna lie that even as a Christian, I don't want to say that I don't forgive. I forgive, but sometimes it can be hard to forget because it's important to also, I think that when things happen, remembering those past that happened in the past help you to build your boundaries more, help you to be more cautious. So I would not necessarily say forget at least at this time of the video, but yes, forgive. Come with a forgivable heart. The Bible says in the Psalm 51 verse 10, create in me a clean heart, O God, and renew a right spirit within me. So yes, as you forgive your husband, you definitely want to wake up every day with a renewed mind, with a clean heart. Like I say, as hard as you can be, because you really want peace, because peace is important for your growth, because you are the only one who are responsible for your own peace. You have to ask God, to beg God, to create in you, like I say, that renewal of your heart and of your mind. And as your heart is renewed and as your mind also renewed, you start feeling that peace of the Lord coming into your heart. And I'm sure, as you know, that the more you feel peaceful, you are able to give that peace within your marriage. But a woman that's not in peace in her heart, whether it's because of her husband or because of outside sources, she can't give peace in a marriage. She's gonna create war where there is not war. When there is no war. So it's absolutely important, like I say, for you as a woman, as a Christian woman out there, to once again, to seek peace, to be forgiving. Okay, my last thing to protect your inner peace within your marriage is that when you've done all the things that I've said in the beginning, and it hasn't worked, allow yourself to enter God's rest. So allow yourself to enter God's rest and to remain in prayer for your husband. You have to understand that it's not about you, it's about him. You can't change a man, but only God can transform the heart. So what you can do, like I say, when you try to work on yourself, through seeking actively peace, through saying kind words to your husband, through changing your perception of how you perceive situation. When you've done all of this and it does not work, like I said, you have to realize that this is the work of the Lord. So you have to be patient. You have to, like I say, enter God's rest. You have to remain in prayer. You have to allow God to transform your husband. Because once again, you have to remember that, that although you are married, you each come with your own burden. You don't know what's going on, what has been going on in his life. Yes, he's married to you, but there may be trauma in his own that he has not finished. He has not resolved yet, and sometimes those trauma can be a cause of trigger in your own relationship. So you have to, like I said, to allow God to transform your husband. And I know during that time when, like I said, if you've done all the things that I've said and nothing have happened, when you enter the time when you have to enter God's rest, it can be hard because you feel almost powerless. By that time, as you let the Lord transform your husband, you want to ask God for the patience for yourself. You want to ask God for the wisdom for your mouth, for yourself, so that as God transform your husband, that you may be patient, you may be tolerant with him, you may not be too pushed, because like I said, as you're searching for your own peace, there'll be time when, like I said, where the devil will come and tempt you. There'll be time when the devil will say, well, guess what? For how long? You're the only one in that relationship working for peace. What is he doing? But you have to ask the Lord, I said, the patience. And you have to ask him the wisdom, the discernment, to guard your heart, because you know that what you know that if God put you together with your husband, it's for a reason. God promised for your marriage was never necessarily happiness, was never necessarily peacefulness. It was just for his glory. So once again, enter the Lord's rest, be patient, and most importantly, do not give up. Do not give up, because that's actually the point of my video. I believe that many people enter marriage with a misconception. Many people from outside, before they get married, they glamorize marriage. They see marriage, like I say, as this place where, you know, all the trauma will be healed. They come in marriage with their own trauma. They come in marriage with their own burden, the unresolved issue from the childhood, from the past relationship. And then as they start dating, they get lured into that situation where they feel like, you know, it's everything is comfy. Maybe in the dating stage, the man is bringing flowers, everything is nice. But as they enter marriage, they now start discovering the real reality of marriage, where you have to make a compromise, where you have to sometimes sacrifice your own peace. There is somewhere, like I say, where, you know, you do everything that you want. You want to remain in peace, in harmony with your marriage. But for whatever reason, let's say your husband come from work, he had a hard day, and he throw everything's on you. What you gonna do? There's nothing that you can do. So this video today is definitely, like I say, to give you a couple of tips to find ways to protect your inner peace. It's because trust me, there's no man out there that's responsible for your own peace. Only you are responsible for your own peace. And as long as you make God the foundation of your peace, I want to assure you that everything is going to be okay. It does not necessarily mean that everything is going to be glamorous, everything's going to be happy, but the ending is going to be happy. So once again, don't give up on marriage. You know, if you're single outside, prepare yourself for marriage. Not necessarily for something chaotic, but prepare yourself for marriage. Make God the foundation of your peace, of your everything, and you shall live happy, you shall be peaceful. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you all next time. Have a blessed day. Bye-bye.